What's up, you beautiful people? Hope you're having a good week or weekend, depending on when you're watching this. But we got another recommendation for a video. OG follower of the channel, BriyahChrist, basically asked, what are 5 or 10 things any person should not take for granted? This was really hard to think about, so thank you for the question. And my answers, I think I got like 8 of them, but they're not in any particular order. What people should not take for granted is their health or their physical abilities. We all have problems and we think, oh, I wish I could do more. For example, my mental illness kept me inside. The whole time I wished I could go out and travel. I wished I could do this, I could do that. But then you have people who are bedridden and people who are stuck in a fucking wheelchair that wish that they could just get up and stand or walk. So you got to count your blessings on what you do have, your abilities that you're able to do, and be grateful if you have good health. Recently I was diagnosed with cancer, but I'm grateful that I don't have any bone damage. So for the longest time I might have taken that for granted, but now I'm trying not to. I'm trying to just embrace every day as a new chance at life and yeah, go from there. There's a lot of other things that fall under this. For example, just the fact that our lungs automatically breathe. Can you imagine trying to focus on doing that all day? We wouldn't get anything done. That's fucking crazy. That always gets taken for granted. I take it for granted. Your tribe. The people that you have in your life, family, friends, even strangers across the internet. A lot of people go through life alone. Especially before the internet and social media connected people worldwide. People suffered alone. They have nobody to turn to, and they still suffer alone and don't have anybody to turn to, even in a world that's completely connected because everyone's so disconnected. So just be grateful and do not take for granted the people that you have in your life. Quality over quantity. I'd rather have 4 quarters than 100 pennies. Being able to laugh. People take for granted the ability to laugh, which is a beautiful thing in a world where everyone's miserable on the fucking internet. The internet does not reflect reality, thankfully, but people treat everything like it's a fucking life or death argument or debate. They forget that conversation involves disagreement, and you should be able to laugh. And if you can't laugh at yourself, that's a big fucking problem. But people take that for granted. It's a beautiful thing to be able to do. A lot of people like myself, we use comedy as a defense mechanism, coping mechanism, whatever. And we take it for granted that we have that ability because some people don't have that. So they just gotta face what they gotta face without being able to crack jokes. And being able to laugh is a stress reliever. So not everybody can do that, so it gets taken for granted. The things you enjoy, your passions or your hobbies, don't take those for granted because some people, though, they don't have passion for anything. Sadly, there are a lot of people who can't think for themselves, so they cling on to what other people are doing in order to try and fit in. Your passion or your hobby is something that you should love doing because you love doing it, not because it gets you attention. If you make money off of it, cool, make that money. But if you're passionate about something, it's not measured in how many other people you impress. You always are in your own relationship with your own passions and hobbies, and a lot of people don't have the free time to indulge in those, or they just don't have the capacity to have passion on a creative level or anything like that. So even if you're able to doodle or paint or sing and have fun, even if it doesn't rhyme, it gets taken for granted that we have passions and hobbies because not everybody is able to think that way or have the free time to do that kind of stuff. Free time is very taken for granted. Something I'm really grateful for is access to clean water and food. I cannot imagine waking up and having to sterilize water and hunt for food every single day. Subsistence lifestyle. If I lived that lifestyle, I could imagine it, but nah, dude, that shit would break me. So I'm grateful that I don't have to get up and hunt. I am grateful that I don't have to wake up and boil water just to make sure it's clean, even though with our infrastructure you might want to boil it anyways, but you get what I'm saying. I'm not going to take it for granted. I appreciate that so much. Just to be able to walk into a store and buy meat, something to drink, I am very blessed, and a lot of people take that for granted. Medicine and germ theory. Most of us would not have survived into the age that we are if it wasn't for medicine and germ theory. And people have such an entitlement, a sense of that they just deserve to have things. They don't realize that germ theory didn't exist a couple 100 years ago. Or like 100 years ago. People really didn't fucking wash their hands when they were cutting off limbs during wartime. Then there was a doctor that was like, hey, we should wash our hands after you deliver that baby because... And then it fucking, yeah, sanitation, germ theory, medicine. I'm very grateful for medicine. It extends life, and a lot of people just think it's just always will be there. They will always have access to it. Nope. Don't take it for granted. Appreciate it while you got it. Any freedoms that we have, freedom to move, freedom to express ourselves, they get taken for granted because we tend to have a delusion of grandeur and entitlement, thinking that we will always have them and we deserve them anyways. No, people have to fight for those rights, people have to die for those rights, and people have to continue to fight so we still have those rights. So if you can speak your mind, be grateful. If you're allowed to move freely, express yourselves with tattoos, colors, your individuality, a lot of that gets taken for granted. The ability to do that, because there are some places where it's a straight up police state and you can't even think the wrong thing. So, yeah. And the last one I have is not being hunted by apex predators in the wild. You see all these dumbass fucking people approaching moose and wildlife, trying to get a really close photograph. We have been on the top for so long, and we are out of the wild for so long, that humans forget that we are not durable. We're meat sacks that can break open really easily. And we're not used to having to not be hunted every single day. That's why squirrels are like crackheads, because they're just looking around fucking trying to make sure a bird's not gonna swoop them up. Humans used to move like squirrels. We used to be all fucking fidgety and shit. And then we fucking came together and got a little bit more confident, and then we were like a pack of fucking meerkats just sitting there looking around. It wasn't until we had shelter for thousands of years that gave us this fucking top of the food chain Chad mentality. And then it just became ignorance, where people is just literally approaching a moose in mating season and they're trying to get a selfie with it only to get kicked in the fucking head and probably killed. So I am very grateful I can walk down the street, and even though humans are super predators and I might get hunted by a human, that's a possibility, it's not a guarantee. If you live out in the wild, it's a guarantee that you are most likely being hunted by a predator who is higher on the food chain than you. You're probably even being hunted by a predator that's not even higher on the food chain, but they hunt in packs and they're going to fuck you up. So try not to take any of those for granted. I'm sorry it wasn't a list of 10, but this was a very challenging topic to think about. Don't take your health for granted. Be grateful for what you're able to do, not what you're not able to do. Be grateful for the people that you have in your life. If you don't talk to them enough, you have to reach out to them and make the effort to keep them in your life. People get busy with their own life. They make excuses, whatever. Appreciate that you have them, because some people don't have anybody. Being able to laugh is a beautiful thing. Things that you enjoy and things that you are passionate about. Access to clean water and food. Medicine and germ theory. Sanitation. Any freedoms that you might have as an individual or a group. And not being hunted every single day, which allows us to be pretty fucking chill. Because I would be really fucking on edge if I had to get hunted every day. So thank you, BriyahChrist, for the great recommendation. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great week or weekend, depending on when you watch this. It's a beautiful sunny day. I actually have my window open. Fed 5 stray cats this morning. Thank you to my neighbor Kim for getting me wet food, so I can continue to get them wet food, and I still give them dry food and water regardless. But those stray cats, I love them. They keep me going, along with my 2 cats and my 2 bearded dragons. So if you ever lose faith in humanity, just go find some animals. They will restore your faith. Not in humanity, but in life. Because animals are precious and pure. I love them. And I love you guys.